sounds of yelling and screaming, crying in pain, and the sobs of innocent parents and children. During the 1940s and World War II, these sounds were all people heard. The sound of hatred and pain were engraved into people's minds. A leader of a country gave human rights to citizens that were similar to him and worshipped him. The humans that were different in even the slightest way were disowned and or killed. Global issues like this are still occurring in places like Darfur and Sudan, Rwanda, Bosnia, and Syria. Hopefully, the time will come where every human being is given their own human rights. But for now, people will judge and die, people will hate and hurt, people will think they are better than everyone else because of their money or status. Human rights don't exist for everyone, and some people still think they shouldn't, obviously. But I believe that everyone should have an equal opportunity. In America, African Americans had no civil rights or human rights because of the way they looked. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who fought for his and others' rights, once said, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of their character." Over 300,000 people backed this famous speaker during the March on Washington. I would have been one of those 300,000 people if I was alive, because I believe all people should have equal rights and are not judged by how they look or what they believe in. At this time, the African Americans that marched with the King deserved every human right that the Caucasians had. The prayers may be fulfilled. Lord God, give us the strength that we may retain our liberty for our children and our children's children, not only for ourselves, but also for the people of Europe. For this is a war which we wage, not for our German people alone, but for all of Europe and for all of humanity. A very strong and powerful dictator named Hitler once said this, a dictator that also killed over 11 million people for the reason they weren't perfect or exactly like him. However, Adolf Hitler did appreciate his German followers and his children and the rest of Europe. He was just doing what was right by his beliefs, but he should not have killed innocent people for something they did not do. This obscene act shows everyone that individuals will take the human rights from others if they do not act, believe, or look the same as them. The killing and massacre of innocent families and towns, the taking away of simple human rights is unacceptable. Everyone has an equal opportunity to human rights. These rights should exist for everyone, but of course they don't. There is always going to be hatred and killing in the world. Human rights don't exist for everyone, and some people still think they shouldn't, but I believe that everyone should have an equal opportunity to any and all human rights.